Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to do some three-step mole problems. Now, here I have sodium phosphate. It's not, we know that's the wrong name, right? But sodium phosphate. The formula for sodium phosphate, you should know from being in this class, is Na3PO4, right? Now, I'm going to tear this scale out, and I'm going to put some sodium phosphate on the scale. I have 29.5 grams of sodium phosphate, all right? So now I'm going to ask you some questions about it, and I'll try to start out with easier problems, all right? If we have 29.5 grams of sodium phosphate, then how many grams of sodium do we have? There's several ways to do this, okay? Several ways to do this. Here's the easiest way. Let's come up with the weight of sodium phosphate. That's going to be 23 times 3, so that's 69 grams, plus 31 grams, that's 100, plus another 64 grams. So 164 grams is the weight of 1 mole of sodium phosphate, all right? Now, if we had this 29.6 or 29.5 grams of sodium phosphate on the scale, how much of that weight is just due to the sodium, all right? Well, the simplest thing to do would be, what percentage of sodium phosphate is the sodium? 69 grams out of the 164 grams is the sodium. So we'd say 69 divided by 164, 42%. 0.42 or 42%. So if we only have 29.5 grams, how many grams of sodium do we have? Well, 29.5 times 0.42. We have 12.41. All right, let's ask the same question in a different way. Let's deal with the same stuff. We've got sodium phosphate, which is 164 grams per mole, right? And we have 29.6 grams of it. What if I said, how many atoms of sodium are in this cup? Well, pretty easy to do that. This is a three-step mole problem, all right? First, let's figure out how many compounds of sodium phosphate are in 29.5 grams of sodium phosphate. The way we can do that is a two-step problem. 29 times 1 over 164 gives us so many moles. And then, how many moles we have? There's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of those per mole. So we can start out very simply, 29.5 divided by 164 times 6.02 EE23 equals, there are 1.08 times 10 to the 23rd compounds of sodium phosphate in 29.5 grams of sodium phosphate. So if we have 1.08 times 10 to the 23rd of these, and on every one of these, how many sodiums are there? Yep, there's 3 sodiums. We can just say this number, we have this many sodium phosphates, times 3, because on every one of those sodium phosphates, there's 3 sodiums, times 3. 3.25 times 10 to the 23rd. Does that make sense? Switching it up now, we've got magnesium sulfate, and this is heptahydrate, so it's MgSO4.7H2O. Let's put some of it in here on the scale. All right. We have 71.5 grams. 71.5 grams. All right, we have 71.5 grams of magnesium sulfate .7H2O. All right? And my question to you would be, how many atoms of oxygen are on this scale? All right? What's our first step? Our first step is to add up the molar mass of MgSO4.7H2O. So what is that? What's the molar mass of MgSO4.7H2O? I'll add it up. 24 is our magnesium, plus 32 is our sulfur, plus 64 for the 4 oxygens, plus 7 times 18. 7 times 18. 7 times 18, close parentheses, equals 246. 246 grams per mole is magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. All right, great. We want to know how many atoms of just oxygen are there if we have 71.5 grams. So our first step is what? Let's figure out how many moles of magnesium sulfate heptahydrate we have, and then we'll figure out how many compounds of this we have. So 71.5 grams times 1 over 246 grams will tell us how many moles we have. How many moles do we have? 71.5 divided by 246. So we have 0.29 moles. And what do we do to figure out how many compounds we have? That's right. Multiply it times how many compounds are in 1 mole times 6.02 EE23 equals 1.75 times 10 to the 23rd. 1.75 times 10 to the 23rd. Hope that fits on there. All right. Now, very simply, if we have 1.75 times 10 to the 23rd of these, how many oxygen atoms are there? Okay, now this one's a little bit trickier, and I didn't mean for it to be. How many oxygen atoms are here? 4. And how many oxygen atoms are here? 7. So there's 11 oxygen atoms. See, it's 7 times that 1. There's 11 oxygen atoms on every magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. So if we have this many total compounds of magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, we just multiply this number times 11. So what's that answer? Times 11 equals 1.92 times 10 to the 24th. Hope that helped with your 3-step mole problems.